How's everyone doing? Today we're going to be going over how to prepare a lamb for a large group using ancestral methods. Hi guys, it's Josh with Heartway Farms, and today we are getting ready for a large family get-together here at the homestead, and we're going to be preparing our lambs as one of the main dishes. We're going to go ahead and process the lamb for you today to show you how you can process a lamb with minimal equipment at your homestead, and then how you can cook it using ancestral methods, which is basically digging a hole in the ground, building a fire, and covering the lamb up and roasting it until it's done to perfection. So let's get into the process of processing the lamb, preparing the lamb cuts, and then packaging it and placing it into the ground for our cook time. All right, so we have a basic setup that you can get at your local hardware store, at Walmart, Amazon, that type of stuff. So you have a gambrel here that's just a deer gambrel. It's like 25 bucks. A pail of warm water, a bucket to collect some entrails into, and then our lamb that we just harvested from our flock this morning here. So I like to wear an apron. I got some scabbards right here just to keep the knife safe so they're out of the way. You got a sharpening stick, and then a nice towel to wipe your hands down with. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the sheep up onto the gambrel, and then we're gonna take off all the skin, and then we're gonna go ahead and take the entrails out. So let's get started. We're gonna cut right in between the tendon here, and that is just so the gambrel can get a bite into it. Try to get it right to my shoulders here so I can work on the lower part here first. First thing we're doing is we're going to start right at the hock here. We're going to put a slight cut just around the skin. So we're going to make cuts along the back right here. And you want to keep this part of the silver skin on, or the membrane, because that will keep it easier for us to take the skin out, the hide off the animal here. So we're going to take and just cut around here, make our entry point, and then we're going to start working the skin down on the animal. A little bit of knife work at first here, but the idea is that you get far enough down to where the knife is used less and less. William, you can come in close right here. We had a nick in the tendon, so we lost the tendon back here, which does happen. It's kind of when you don't do it all the time, you make some mistakes. So you just do a quick tie around the leg here to keep them up on the gambrel. So like I said, we just put this one down this morning. So with sheep, you can go ahead and process them and cook them the same day. A lot of people don't do that with animals like cow or steer or something like that. Deer, even people. A lot of times you want to let them hang for a few days. But with sheep, you are totally able to put them down and eat them fresh the same day. Then when you come through the center here, we're gonna make a Y cut through here and then work it down so that we work everything down and just keep it working away from the animal. All right, the other tool that we get that is nice to have on hand in a homestead is just a basic bone saw. Some people get in electrical ones. Some people use sawzalls with a fresh blade. But at the tail right here, just do one quick cut, make it easy. Don't want to overcut with the saw. You just want to kind of use it where you need to and then get away from it there. So we're through the tailbone there. That way you're not dulling your blades up. You got the saw, so go ahead and use it, right? So you can get the leg off pretty easy if you just make a score mark around the tendon and everything right here. This is the part that you have to sharpen your knife usually after. Give it a cut through, and then just put it across your leg and push down and against it. And it breaks at the joint right there. And then you just finish the rest of your cut through. So this is where we don't get into a lot of the livers and the spleens. If you guys have animals, maybe you don't want to eat the liver. Some people love liver. I just don't get into it. There's this personal preference, right? But a liver is a big hunk of edible organ. It's super clean. You can tell the healthiness of an animal or the status of an animal by looking at it a lot. So there's that. So we'll put that off to the side. All right, so we're gonna get into this here. We're gonna go ahead and quarter it into chunks here. Like I said, we're cooking this in the earth. You dig a hole, you build a fire in that hole, you get the hot coals going, you wrap this up with your seasoning and whatnot into your tin foil, and you throw it in the ground. So we're gonna go ahead and cut it up into some chunks here real quick and quarter it off, and get that set off to the side and ready to do that process here. So we got an internal cavity all cleaned out. Everything stayed super clean, which is nice. Got your ribs all through there. We got our rectum space up in here. That's all clean. Everything came out with that. We got our legs of lambs back up in here. And then we've got our shoulders down here. So our shoulders, we're just gonna take and run the knife back here. Like I said, we're just gonna make this super easy on ourselves and cut this up right here and quarter it off, because like I said, we're not trying to process this and turn it into...
We're eating it.
We're eating it today, yep. You can feel right through here, you got your shoulder. This is our front shoulder. Okay. More. Do our final trim up on our leg right here. So we took the leg off the gambrel there, and we're just gonna pop it at the knuckle like we did our front legs basically. Cut it through. Try not to use your knife to hit the bones, and just cut it right off at the joint there. And there we have a big old leg of meat right there. All right, there's a big hunk of meat there. And then we're gonna take this right off here. Some people get fancy with all this cuts here. You can, totally. Once again, if you have animals, you have dogs, sometimes it's just good to give them some of the good stuff. We have a mama who just had some pups right now. So that ends up being some scraps that they can enjoy. This is part of the diaphragm inside. We're probably not gonna do much with that, so don't be wasteful with it. Feed them off. We dug a pit here that's a few feet deep, and we're gonna start a fire in it while we're getting the lamb package up, seasoned, and all that stuff. We're gonna let this burn down, turn into some hot coals for us, and then we're gonna put the lamb in the foil directly on top of the fire, and we're gonna cook it in there for about 4 hours with half the coals pulled out, put the aluminum foil in there, put the lamb into there, cover it back up with the coals, and then cover up with the dirt and let it cook. So in here, we're throwing some garlic in here. I'm gonna do some fresh thyme. Sorry, not fresh. I'm gonna do some dried thyme because that's what we got available. We didn't get enough growing thyme. And then we're gonna do salt and pepper. And we're gonna do little bit of olive oil. Just make a real basic rub. Garlic, thyme, a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper. Give it a mix up. Then we're just gonna take and we're gonna rub it on the outside of that there leg. It's a lot of meat there, so don't worry about the seasoning, guys. We're gonna wrap this in foil, make sure it's nice and tight, and we're gonna do a couple layers on there. All right, so we're just gonna get this wrapped up. We can go check on that fire and get this all cooking. About 4 hours in the ground. One more. So we got the fire going here. It's getting real hot. We're gonna let it burn down and get to some coals. We got the meat wrapped up, and then we're just gonna simply pull out half of the coals, put the meat in the ground, cover it up with the coals, and then cover it up with the dirt and let it sit for about 4 or 5 hours. So wait for this fire to burn down because it's getting warm. All right, so the lamb's been processed, it's been seasoned, it's been tinfoil wrapped, it's been fired, and now it's being covered for the next 4 hours. So check back in and we'll see how it looks later on here. So the lamb's been in here for 4 hours, and it is hopefully, well, 4.5. Does it feel warm at all? Back of your hand.
Yeah, I can
back
feel
your hand.
I can feel
Always
it.
feel for the back of your hand though. You don't want to burn the front of your hand,
Yeah,
right?
I can feel that. I think we're hitting
Ooh, I got gold! No, silver.
Oh yeah, it's steaming. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, Daddy, there's another one. Is that light?
All right.
Ooh, I smell
Careful.
that.
Ooh, we smelled already?
Another thingy down there.
Ooh, it's still warm in there.
How hot is it?
Over 50 pounds of lamb in here, so it better be good.
Daddy, are these it?
At the bottom here, we got some big old legs. Ooh, look at that.
That's another leg. Ooh, that's steaming.
Mental note, when you package your lamb up, count how many packages you put in the hole.
Are you missing one?
And if it's not done, we can always throw it on the griddle. Oh yeah. Look at the clear juices.
Good flavor. I mean, if you're eating a catcher's mitt, that is pretty good. Whoa, whoa.
All right, so we processed the lamb and we cooked it up, and overall we are super excited with how it turned out. The temperature, the flavor, it was all done. However, I would tweak the process because it was our first time cooking it in the primitive fashion in the ground. So in the future, I would put it in not just for 4 hours, I would leave it in there for like a full 8 hours. And the reasoning is it just didn't come out like fall off the bone tender. The flavors were great, the seasonings were great, and the process was really good overall. But I would extend the cook time on it, and we ended up just taking the foil that the lamb came out of the ground in, and we put it back on the fire out there by the campsite, and we just got it cooked up a lot longer for another 4 hours or so, and got it roasted up and fall off the bone tender. And once again, it turned out great overall. We had over 50 pounds of meat, and we're able to use a lot of the meat and the lamb and enjoy it. But I would increase the cook time. Don't just do it for 4 hours. Go ahead and push that 8 to 12 hour mark. It will stay plenty warm in that pit for a long period of time. It was more than hot when it came out of there. So the flavor was great. The style of it was fun. It was a great process. It was a good skill to learn, and overall it provided us with a lot of meat for a big group. But yeah, I would tweak it, and I would go ahead and cook it for like an 8 hour period, and it would turn out just fall off the bone tender with a lot of good flavors. So awesome experience.